like a good old cup of coffee to get you going.
On a cool morning, too.
Not a bad morning.
Beautiful.
How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody had a great, wonderful day or having a great, wonderful day. Not a bad day for us to get some projects going on. So,
Lots.
we are in front of the shack house / new and improved shop for me.
Whatever it is they had here.
Whatever they had here. Still need outside walls or anything. It's kind of semi-covered, but getting it a little bit closer,
We're going to turn this into a beautiful shop eventually.
I'm rambling on.
Anyway.
Anywho.
That's not what we're going to talk about today.
Today, I'm going to show y'all, if you haven't used it, I've always used PVC for all my plumbing all the time before. But I started, because I always thought it was a little pricey using the PEX. I call it PEX. I think some other brands over there, Sharkbite or something like that. But it's
PEX.
P-E-X, is what they call it. It's actually, to me, I found out to be a great and wonderful. One thing is it comes in a roll. And it's like the 1/2 inch. It's a little smaller than a regular 1/2 inch PVC. And it's great because you can get it like, so far I've seen it in a 100-foot roll and a 300-foot roll. And by price comparison, where I'm getting it from, like I just got through buying a 300-foot roll of it. It was like $79 over at Lowe's. That comes out to, I think, if I remember right, somewhere about 25 cents a foot. And I can't remember off my top of my head what a 10-foot stick of PVC costs, but you'd have to buy all your links. You'd have to buy 10 pieces for their 100-foot roll, of course, and then of course you got to buy all the couplings, and the couplings are cheap. Now, that's I guess one advantage. PVC is all the connectors and stuff, they're cheaper than the fittings for the PEX pipe.
But you don't need as many for the PEX pipe because you're not connecting a bunch of 10-foot pieces together.
Yeah, you're not connecting as many. The reason I also like it is the PEX pipe connectors, they're normally like brass, so they're not going to rust. They're going to, be pretty much freeze-proof. And that's the other nice thing about the PEX. Your water can freeze in the pipe, but it's not going to bust that pipe. PVC, your water will freeze in PVC, and it will crack and bust your PVC.
Which is a real advantage to us, because with us trying to turn this raw land into a thriving homestead, a lot of the stuff we're putting down is temporary as we move stuff around. Until we get all this cleared to the point where we have permanent paddocks and where we actually put our house, a lot of this PEX pipe is not getting buried. So
currently, yeah, it's just we're just throwing it on the ground to get a water supply from point A to point B and C and D.
We'll bury it later when we know exactly where we put things, because as you clear land, you might come across something where that's not going to work. So you have to move things. So until we're to that point, we're not burying any of this pipe. Yeah. So we need something that's not going to crack in the winter.
Yeah. I'm going to show you how easy I think it is too. You don't have to worry about the primer, the glue, the cleaner, and you can connect it and use it instantly right then and there. All the connections, I've never had a problem once I've connected this, which I'll show you how we do that. It's an automatic connection. The other con, I guess, against it is the tools you need to put it together. Like I said, the connectors themselves, I think they're around $2 to $3 a piece if you buy them by singles. Of course, you can buy a bulk bag, it gets a little cheaper. So that's one, but like I said, it's a long pipe, so you don't need as many connections sometimes to connect it. But like the crimping tool you need, man, I think that tool right now, $80 to $100, I think, for just the tool to crimp it with.
You could probably rent it maybe in some places.
You might be able to rent them if you needed to, but it is a good investment later on. That I found out that sometimes you spend a little bit more for something, but for something that you really don't have to worry about. Once you put it together, it's not going to, fall apart on you.
It's been a good investment for us because we do use a lot of PEX pipe, and not just here, but we've remodeled a couple of houses.
And used it I just forgot to show y'all this stuff until I started thinking about it. I've never showed y'all most of the plumbing or water supply that I do out here.
So if you've never used PEX pipe, or if you're considering using it and you're not quite sure, that's what we're going to show you today, is really how it works and how wonderful it is, and how to do the connectors and so forth.
And the nice thing too is there's also another tool that comes in handy to cut your rings that when you connect it together, so you can reuse those brass fittings again. On PVC, once you glue it together, that fitting's gone. You can't reuse that fitting. That tool, I think it's around a $30 tool or so.
Not too bad.
I got lucky. I found it at Lowe's one day on a clearance for like $7. I was pretty happy. That was probably a year or so ago. But that's come in really handy too, because it crimps them off pretty easy. But anyway, let me get to this. Okay. Neat little trick. If you've got it laying around, of course it'd be costly if you had to go buy it. Luckily, I have some of this 3/4 inch electrical PVC that I had laying around, because I need to run this line underneath this building to make it a little shorter distance. So, drilled a hole, but the PEX, like I said, comes in a roll. So, trying to feed that underneath, all it does is, it's going to go curl. So, for an easy fix, I drilled me like 1.25 inch hole through, because this also, the building is a low end where the other side's about 18 inches or so off the ground. I pushed 3 sticks of this together to make it go all the way straight through in a straight line. And the PEX is small, the 1/2 inch PEX is small enough I can feed that straight on through here. And so, let me show you how that works. Okay, this is PEX pipe. Comes in a white, red, or blue.
How patriotic.
Right? Blue, standard for using, say, cold water. Red, standard for your hot water. White, I guess if you just don't even care what you're using it for. This stuff's not bad. This is that Sharkbite brand. And this is the 1/2 inch. This is rated at about 160 PSI at 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Or 100 PSI at 180 degrees Fahrenheit. And 80 PSI at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm using it pretty much for gravity fed. I may put a little small pump on this, but that little pump's only like 30 PSI, so perfect. Even at sitting above the ground with the sun hitting it, I don't think it's going to get really above 200 degrees, and I can still run 80 PSI through it, so plenty perfect. So, like I said, it curves, so it's hard to push it straight through. I mean, it does shape pretty decent, where you can take the time, if you wanted to also, and you can kind of semi-bend it to get it straighter than the big curve. But there's the end of my pipe. I can just shove that right on through there.
Perfect.
Okie doke. Got it through my gray pipe. Now, all you gotta do is pull that back out. Have your lovely assistant pull on the other end of it. And voila! Easy peasy. See, now, so normally if you're running PVC, you'd have to put an elbow right here, a 90. Here, you can just bend it around. It's not pinching it. And I can just attach it to the side of the wall to bring it where I need to bring it, which will attach now back over here to the PVC.
We do use PVC.
That way now I can attach it straight into my gravity fed, and if I need to, like I said, it's easy. I can just snip it right there, put an extra couple other little connectors on it to tie it into a pressure pump if I need to. One of the on-demand little pressure 12-volt pumps, if the gravity doesn't seem like it's going to be strong enough for what I want it to go down there. But
It's all downhill.
think it's going to be pretty good because that's all downhill. Alrighty, now I'm going into my 1-inch off my water catchment here, and this is what the fittings are like. Sorry, I already pre-screwed this into this thing, but this is a 1-inch tee with a 1/2 inch threaded output on it, and this is a 1/2 inch PEX piece with a 1/2 inch male threaded. I put some Teflon tape around it, screwed it down good and tight, so that, and see the little fittings, they're a little barbed, and they're just going to the end of that, so it makes it real easy to do. Now I need to try to mark out where I need to cut. That's where the pipe should go into, so I've got enough room to kind of push this back inside, but that's about the edge point that I need it to be at. You normally put a little pressure and hold those fittings together. And then you gotta wait for that to dry a little bit. It doesn't normally take too long for that glue to dry. Like I said, the nice thing about these fittings is you don't have to worry about the primer and the glue. I've got this, I've got that. I've been using I believe it's like a little copper ring that I use, which is just a little copper ring. And then of course, this is your crimping tool, and this is designed to do 1/2 inch on the top, 3/4 inch PEX on the bottom, because it does come up to 3/4. You just take your ring, slide it on the end of your PEX there, put it onto the connection it needs to go. I don't know if you'll be able to get a good view of this, but then you just set that on your clamp, and it kind of holds into place where you need to go. So you see I've got it kind of sits there a little bit. I've got it to where it's a little bit away from the edge, to where I know I'm still going to get all my connection there, and then you just squeeze them together, and that crimps it right on. And I'll normally come up, move it just a little bit, make a secondary crimp around it, and I don't have to worry about that leaking. I've never had a problem with leak. They may. I don't think anything's 100% guaranteed, but see where I glued here, that's where I'll know I need to check, because that could be a weak connection there, because sometimes that glue doesn't sit. But I haven't really had any problems ever with this not holding. So that's connected to one end. So nice, you can just use the lightweight pipe cutters. I end up putting a little T here because I'm bringing it all the way down here, because I'm going to have a water bucket here for old Steve. And we're going to bring it right across through here. That way I can run this right on through here. Alright, so if we had that going like so, we had a faucet coming right over here.
I might want to turn the fence off. But yeah.
So, just easy cut it. And see, I'm going to run this right over here because I'm moving Steve's little bucket or water trough, so I can put me a faucet right off of this.
Don't touch the fence.
And the nice thing about this stuff is if you're messing around on an electrical fence, this stuff can hit it. There's no problem. You're not getting shocked. The only thing you have to worry about is yourself touching the end and shocking yourself like I just did a second ago. I can put this right over here, put me a little faucet right off of it, or do you think we should go higher? Because we're going to also fill up the chicken water.
Go higher because of the chicken water. You want me to turn the fence off?
Nah, I shouldn't get zapped.
Sure.
I learned once. So maybe up to here?
That'll work.
Okay.
That way I can fill the chicken water.
And the nice thing about these is you can still even use... I've got these little PVC clips that you can that clip like 1/2 inch, I think, hot water pipe in. And they work great because I can just tack those up and make a nice little holder spot.
Let me turn the fence off.
Well, we're going to see. So we're going to put it up about yay high.
A little higher. Because
and I'm going to put them opposite direction so it kind of holds that right into place where I want it to be.
A little higher because that 1 5-gallon.
Let's go about yay high.
That works. Can we turn the fence off? Okay.
Alright. It looks like we're probably needing to be about in the spot we need to be at.
That looks good.
We're going to go about right there. And that holds that there pretty darn sturdy. Alright, so we have our brass tee. That's going to go right in there. Alright, now my lovely assistant will hold these rings, hold that into the faucet. Try and cut me another couple of sections here. Let's see here. We only need a couple of inches. So you can just clip you off a little piece that you need because this other side will carry right along through that direction. And then we have a faucet with another 1/2 inch female threaded piece. Those pieces will go there. So what's nice is you can kind of adjust and see where everything goes. We run that there. We can twist this direction. So that looks like that's going to work out just perfect. So pull this all back. Pull this off. Pull that back off. Put your little ring on there. Get our little clippers. Crimp it down. And then I give it another little crimp. Alright. The other good thing about this is it's all crimped on there, but everything still can pivot. So I can press this back to where I wanted it to put it at. I can twist that back down, twist my faucet back around, and that still all stays together. It doesn't leak. That works out pretty good. And this way I can just fill directly without having to have a hose for his little area. And like I said, you know, it curves and bends. I don't have to take this back down and put a 90 degree on the bottom to keep taking it where I need to take it to. Alright, so here, this is my end, which is another piece that's a 1/2 inch female. I've got some 1/2 inch PVC threaded on one side, slip on the other, connected into it, because I just needed to make me a makeshift faucet. So, stick that on the end. Voila! That water line's all set and done. Like I said, if I still need to turn it a little bit, I could. So, works great. I love the stuff. Like I said, the only big con, I guess, about it is that the pieces you need, like I said, these are like, I think 80 to 100 bucks for these things. For making it quick, easy, you don't have to mess with the primer, the glue, and for a pipe that won't bust when it freezes. The water will still freeze in it, like I said, it's just the pipe won't bust. So, please leave any comments below if you have any questions, or saw me doing something that was completely off from really how to use this. If you're a professional or really know more about it than me, let me know so that I know that I can fix my own problems. But if you have any more questions too, leave them down below. I'll be glad to answer the ones that I can, or find you the answer myself. Hopefully everybody had a good day today. So y'all have a great and wonderful one. I can't wait to see y'all till next time. Y'all be safe. Later.